Joe.
Good morning. Hey, does anybody recognize the photograph here on the screen? Phil does? Steve doesn't? Brianna? Okay. Want to share with anybody or?
It's Snoqualmie Falls?
No. This is Falling Water, a house designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, who's my inspiration person today, my significant person today. It was designed for the Kaufman family, who were merchants in the Pittsburgh area back in the 1930s. So here's a photograph of Mr. Frank Lloyd Wright. Kind of a cantankerous old man. He had a fantastic body of work spanning over 65 years. Some of his most notable works are Falling Water, the Guggenheim in Manhattan, the Guggenheim Museum, the Johnson Wax Building in Racine, Wisconsin, and Price Tower in Oklahoma. And there is a private residence here in Lakewood that has been kept off of all of the radar, off the internet, that was also designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. I have had the pleasure of actually visiting the home and having a very nice tour. Great people that owned it, so I can tell you where it is after class. His great success came at the price of poorly designed buildings. He was not an engineer, he was an architect and a visionary. So the Johnson Wax Building, funny story about that was that the roof leaked and continues to leak today. That was part of the charm of the building, quote unquote. The president of Johnson Wax at the time kept a bucket in his office, and the leak that was above his desk, he would just put the bucket on his desk during rainstorms. Frank was a taskmaster. He didn't really employ people. He had minions working under him, draftsmen and other architects. When he developed Taliesin West in Arizona, he just basically loaded up carloads of people and drove them west. Didn't pay them, virtually slave labor. They raised their own produce and vegetables and dairy animals, things like that on the farm. That was where he produced some of his greater works, though. Billy, I'm going to come back there. He borrowed heavily and was mortgaged to the hilt, died virtually penniless. His life was also filled with personal tragedy and scandal. He had a servant that torched his house in Wisconsin, and as the family was fleeing, he murdered his wife and two children. The servant murdered his wife and two children, which was kind of, I think, where he basically had a nervous breakdown and couldn't handle things. He also had an affair with one of his clients, which back in 1907 was very out of the ordinary. It made national news. He ran away to Europe to hide from the scandal, and waited for it to die down. Hopefully I've enlightened you about some of Frank Lloyd Wright, one of America's greatest architects. Just remember that great works are often remembered, not necessarily how they were achieved. So go do good things. And don't tell anybody how you